All right, y'all. So I just got back from the movie theater and it's snowing outside. My phone says it's negative 10 degrees outside. That's what it feels like. It's actually 3 degrees outside, but it feels like negative 10. And I got to tell you, I had my hand out and it felt like when Moses took his hand out of his cloak and it had leprosy on it. That's what it feels like outside. So, yeah, I'm gonna say it does feel like negative 10. Anyway, I went to see Zootopia 2 and Mercy, but I'm gonna do the Mercy review now. But it looks like Zootopia 2 wasn't the only wild part of my night. After I came back from the movie theater, had a nice little conversation with some transvestite about how we prefer the cold weather of New York over the hot weather of Alabama or California. So it was a pretty eventful night. Anyway, the movie Mercy. Yeah, it was a good movie. I'm glad I walked to the movie theater right after work to see it. It was a good movie. Right out the gate, maybe we should put a pin in the idea of an AI court system because that's where the movie was at. It seems as though the plot of the movie was in the future, crime is out of hand. We've tried it the normal way, the way that we're doing right now, just a police system and court systems and stuff like that. And then in the future, we tried put them in different districts where the bad people can be by themselves and they could just be with each other. But that got a little bit out of hand and there was too much loss of life when it came to cops. So now, right around the time of the movie, we're introduced to an AI court system where an AI will look at the ticks on your mannerisms and your facial cues and go over the facts of the crime scene, and it will judge you guilty or innocent. And that's where we're at in the movie. And we started off with the detective played by Chris Pratt being tried for the murder of his wife, played, well, I don't know who his wife was played by, but the AI system was played by Rebecca Ferguson, and the film is pretty much him going over the facts of what happened and who's guilty and what's going on. So that's basically the movie. So him trying to prove his innocence or guilt of who really killed his wife. It was it was a ride. It was a pretty good ride. I must admit I was too busy in the beginning because it is a bit of a slow start. I was too busy in the beginning thinking, where have I seen this before? Have I seen this movie before? Is this like Total Recall? Is this like Minority Report? What is going on here? I was too busy thinking that to see that the movie is its own thing. It does its own thing, and it's pretty good result that comes from this. So yeah, it was a bit of a slow start, but once it put its foot on the gas, it was like Jake Gyllenhaal in Ambulance. It didn't stop. Okay, it did not stop. Once it got on the gas, ain't no stopping until the credits. And I like that about the movie. Yeah, a little bit of development isn't a bad thing. Um, the soundtrack was like non-existent. You do not notice the soundtrack at all. There's no hit songs. There's barely any there's barely any music to get the heart racing to get you ready for the scene. The soundtrack is nothing to talk about. The scenery, it's pretty much here, just any old thing except for the courtroom, which is some empty building. But as far as the AI thing goes, I think one of my favorite parts of the movie is sometimes the AI system will put you in the midst of the action. And I thought that was a pretty cool touch. It was one of my favorite parts of the movie when the AI puts you in the midst of the action and puts you at the crime scene and goes over all the clues with you. I like that part. Um, the acting from Chris Pratt is about what you'd expect from the Terminal List. I mean, he does a good job. It's not like he's a bad actor. It's just Chris Pratt doing his normal Chris Pratt acting job. It's not spectacular, but it's not terrible. It's just it's good acting. It gets overshadowed by Rebecca Ferguson, okay, which is who I was talking about with the person that I was walking home with. How Rebecca Ferguson is a better actor than Chris Pratt, and she did her thing in the movie. That woman did her job. She was like the best part of the movie. She was the best part of the movie. Wasn't my favorite part, but she was, by quality wise, the best part of the movie. That woman can act. She did a great job. My favorite part of the movie was one of the backup characters, Diallo, I believe is her name, black police officer woman. She was my favorite part of the movie. Good job, Diallo. That was a good character. But yeah, um, basically it's future state AI court system brings in a detective on the murder of his wife, and it's up to the detective to use the AI system to prove his innocence or guilt, and the time is literally ticking. You better prove your innocence or guilt in less than 3 hours, or it's over with. And that's pretty much the movie. But yeah, the movie was in its execution very good. I mean, you don't compare it to any other movie. You stop doing that and you just focus on what this movie is. Mercy, I would say it's a 7.5 out of 10. It did a good job. I'm happy with what I saw there. So yeah, if you want to see the movie Mercy, I mean, I would say go see it. If you don't see it, you're not really missing out on anything spectacular in life. But I would say it's a good movie. 7.5 out of 10 for me. And yeah, that's pretty much how it went.